One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Why you looking so hard? You worried about the wrong play, man. Go look in the mirror. Why you looking so hard? You worried about the wrong play, man. Go look in the mirror. Dust. You on my page before you brush your teeth. You stuck on my ground while I'm in the streets. You worrying about my bag, worrying about my wins. You ain't worrying about your pockets looking paper thin. Look at you, man, musty, can't be trusted. Hating on my shine cause your whole life busted. You could be doing so. I'm too busy building, I'm too busy building stack. I'm calling team on the mess, I'm on the shit. I'm building, I'm in the trench. Who another fact, who another bad, who with the bad, Mr. Bad. I'm not sorry for you, I'm not sorry for the facts. That I'm out here, just go black. I don't you are miserable, I'm making me jealous, so I'm scared of me. Build up. If you took a little time and focus on your own success instead of on my damn downfall, you wouldn't be so dusty.
It's time to do.
If you want, you won't. Get up, man. Stop some money. Go get some money.
It's a mess, but we're here. We are here. We do not miss. We're going to get to work tonight. I am Tico Draft. We are engineered to win. That's with all the bumps in the road, with all the bruises we encounter, we still show up and we still work and we still win. All right. Well, let's get into it. Let us get into the show for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I truly appreciate you. Hopefully you're going to have a great time tonight. We have some great topics to discuss. We have some great work to do. The plan for tonight is to build the OBS, not OBS. We already did the OBS plugin. And from last week, what I had to do I thought it was a simple fix. It was a little bit more involved, but it is shared and it's working and it is absolutely amazing. I am using it all the time. Tonight, we are going to be building a Streamdeck plugin because I want something. What do I want? What I really want is when I press the timer button, that like to put 20 minutes of work time, that I can actually see how much time is left. So I found some potential plugins, but they don't do exactly what I want. And I am pretty selfish. What I wanted to do is when I press the button, I want to hear a sound like you hear now. And then I want to see a countdown happening for the whole 20 minutes or however long my timer is. And then I want to hear a sound when it's over. There's some stuff that gets you halfway there, but not completely. And that is not, I repeat, that is not okay for me, right? I'm picky. I'm picky. I'm a tech diva, okay? Yes, I am a tech diva because I want my tech to work a particular way. And if it doesn't do that way, then I'm going to be upset and I'm going to have to build it myself. Okay. So that is where we're at. That is where we are at. Before we get into actually building everything out, I'm going to go through a little bit of housekeeping. My icebreaker is going to be about the next album release. However, I made a big mistake releasing it. So I'm going to share that about you. If you are releasing music and stuff and you also do content, don't make and you use your own music in your content, don't make the mistake that I made. All right. So I'm going to share that with you as well. But before we get into any of that, I just want to say a big thank you to all of the subscribers to the channel. We've gotten a lot of subs this past few weeks, and I really appreciate you trusting in me to add value into your life. Every time you subscribe to somebody, you expect them to add some sort of value into your life, whether you agree with them or you disagree. Because just because you disagree with somebody, that doesn't mean that they don't add any value into your life. Because sometimes even in disagreement, iron sharpens iron, and you get to get the feedback, the pushback, all of that, and you have great discussions, all of that good stuff, right? So to everyone who has subscribed, whether you are brand new or whether you have been with me for a very long time, I just have to let you know that I truly appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
All right. And to my tech barbarians, a big shout out. We do have a vibe coding show coming up this weekend. We're going to be discussing different topics. We're going to be talking about the different apps that we're working on. We're going to get some, I think, what was the thing that I wanted to talk to Junior about, because he was working on something, his explorations video that he did in Riviera Beach, Florida. I want to talk to Magnetar about MathGPT versus Gemini. He said that Gemini might be better than his paid for MathGPT. So I am curious to hear about that and, you know, the usual things that we're working on. So to all of the tech barbarians, everyone in the Tech Coach Off Patreon, I just have to let you know, the way that you work day in and day out, we are absolutely the very best.
We the best.
And to my tech mercenaries, the YouTube channel members who keep this channel running day in and day out, getting this content across the entire world, serving people, adding value into their lives. If it wasn't for you, we would not be able to do this on an everyday basis. Let's go out there and get it.
Let's get it.
All right, real quick. Tomorrow we have the Bug Bite. We're going to be talking about the New York Times, and in addition, in parentheses, Amazon as well, which I didn't know about. But the New York Times in particular, they have just launched a lawsuit against AI search engine Perplexity. If you guys remember, Perplexity made the cute, hold on, let me throw one of these in there.
So that was cute.
Perplexity made the cute offer to buy Google Chrome for like $30 billion. And Google said,
So that was cute.
They said that was cute. Thank you, but no thank you. But New York Times is suing Perplexity for copyright infringement. And this time, because I'm usually like a bit hesitant on these copyright claims, but this time it might be with cause, because they are accusing that Perplexity went behind their paywall and took their content to push out to other people. So we're going to be reviewing that tomorrow, all the implications, and we're going to be starting off with Amazon originally suing Perplexity for their use of AI agents on Amazon's website. So we're going to be talking about all of that tomorrow at noon. The Bug Bite coming noon Eastern time. Come and join me as we discuss that. I already mentioned Saturday afternoon. It's going to be a little bit later, maybe around 4:30-ish. We're going to be having our vibe code and chill session. We're going to be having great conversations, showing what I'm working on. Since it's a little later in the day, I'm not sure who's exactly going to be able to make it. Hopefully it does work out, but I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be going through the different applications that I've been working on, how everything is going, and getting feedback from whoever is able to attend. We're going to have a great time. We always have an amazing time on Saturday. I mean, a few Saturdays ago, we created a song for Rod Brown, which he actually decided to use. Believe it or not, he actually decided to use our song. It's true. It is true. All right. Let me see. And then Sunday, we're going to be going live again. We're going to be continuing working on our speech coaching app. We had some hiccups the other day where we weren't getting any sound. We were recording, we weren't getting any sound into the device, into our emulator. So we're going to keep working on that, keep pushing our way through it until we get to a good MVP stage, so that we can be able to release that. Whatever it is, for me personally, I don't really believe in New Year's resolution. It just continues for me. The progress that we made yesterday, we're going to continue it today. We're going to continue it tomorrow, whether it's January 1st, whether it's July. I said back in March that we were practically in 2026 and people shot me down. But now, because of your lack of preparation, 2026 is going to creep up on you. You're going to sign up for a gym membership by July 21st, by Martin Luther King's birthday. I think it's like the 16th, 21st, whatever, right? You're going to quit your gym membership. Like, well, you're not going to quit. You're going to keep paying for it for about 3 more months, but you're not going to go past June or January 21st, because that's what we all do. But you're not going to cancel it right away because you want to feel that you committed to it. And as long as you have that membership, you're committed. I don't believe in all that. I say that we start working before, and then once everybody else starts working, we're already ahead of the game. We're finishing while people are getting started. That is my mentality. While people are getting started, we are finishing and we're moving on to the next thing, to the next phase. All right. That is how I see it. That is what we're going to do. We are here to win. All we do is win, win, win. All right. But that's it. That's what we got coming up for this week. I just posted in the Patreon, techcoachrob.dev, the Scrum Night from 2 Scrum Nights ago. I am late, right? So I just posted it. Go check it out. And then I have to post the one from this past week. I have to post the Vibe Code and Chill. So much to do, so little time, but we're going to make it either way, right? Because regardless, that's why I urge you to join live, because now when it comes to me to like putting out the work that I've already done, that takes some time. Got to go through it. Got to put some descriptions and stuff like that. I just want to show up and talk. I just want to show up and talk. Not, I repeat, not like Stephen A does, right? To just show up and talk with empty context. No, I like to show up and talk based on what I know, but then now I have to publish it afterwards and edit it and stuff like it. It's a nightmare. It is a nightmare. Okay. But it's my nightmare. It is my nightmare. So that's why I encourage you, show up live, have all the fun, contribute to the conversation. And then once I'm able to get to all the other stuff, then you get it that way. All right. But those are my thoughts. I am going to check the chat real quick, and then I'm going to get into our icebreaker, talking about the next album release and my big mistake. So why is my chat not showing up here? Give me a second here. What's going on? Let me see if I can do this again. I can see it here. Why can't I see it in my thing? Hold on. Selected. Let me see. Test. Is it showing up? Showing up now. All right. Maybe I got disconnected. That's why I wasn't showing up. But I got in my chat, my guy, Junior Largy, in the building. Says, what's up? What's up? What's up, family? What's good with you, Junior? Hopefully everything is going absolutely phenomenal for you, as it normally is. So I'm not even concerned about that. Junior says, now I can hear Beyonce singing I'm a Diva. I'm saying I'm a tech diva, right? Because if it doesn't work exactly the way that I want it, then I don't want it, and then I need to build it myself. There's so many different solutions that I've had available, but because it was just not perfect for me. I mean, to be fair, Rod Brown would not play the song. The beloved brother Rod Brown would not play the song until we changed one word, right? So I'm a tech diva. I am a tech diva. If it doesn't work exactly like I want it, then Houston, we have a problem. Junior, do me a favor. If you can put a message in the chat again, I just want to see if it's coming through, because it was not coming through earlier today, or it wasn't coming through a few minutes ago. Let me see. Is this thing live as well? No, only one of them is live. Let's see. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I'm a bit confused right now. But it is what it is. I don't care. All right. So let me get into my mistake that I made. All right. So let me go over to our icebreaker. So I named the album Purpose. Why did I name the album Purpose? Right. So here's what happened. I've been floating a few different names earlier. This go and show this over here, right? Show it. Let me see what I can show. Let's go to let me do this right like this, right? So I use DistroKid to distribute the album, right? And let me see. So I'm going to show you, right? So let's do it like this. Let's go over to here. What? Oh wait, no. Hold on. I'm telling you, today is the worst. Let me go over to. Should be this one. Oh, that's what. No, what? What is going on here? Give me I don't know what's going on. Hold on a second. What a day. Right monitor. Slideshow. Oh, wait. It should be this one. And we should go to that one. Okay. All right. It's a mess. By the way, Junior, I see your message. Thank you so much. We're good on that end. All right. So, new album, Purpose. So, here's what happened. I was going to name it something else. And I was because I had a few name ideas in the past. But then my wife sees that and she's like, why don't you just name it Purpose since you have it all over the album cover? And I was like, yeah, that's a pretty good idea. And all of the songs on the album also drive the intention of purpose and everything like that. So ended up naming the album Purpose. And it's available December 18th, 2025. I did it a week in advance, I think, a week before Christmas. Is that a week before Christmas? Let me see. Check my calendar. It is, yes, a week before Christmas. So last year I released on Christmas. This year I said, you know what? I'm going to release a little bit before Christmas so that anyone who we can lead up to Christmas with a brand new album, something to listen to and all that, right? However, here's a mistake that I made. So using DistroKid, right? I had pushed all of this up yesterday and I had this social media pack enabled that way. And Junior, you're going to appreciate this, right? That way, if anyone was to use your music, you would get a cut out of that, right? So if they match, so basically get notified and paid when your music is used in content on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We automatically detect matches and pay you ad revenue from videos that use your music. Sounds great, right? However, I use my music all the time. And I uploaded the bug bite video and immediately it says, oh, this music is not monetizable. I'm like, wait, but it belongs to me. Yeah, but it's not monetizable because there is the content ID thing that is blocking it from being monetizable. I'm like, oh my God. So and you see this right here, right? It's $14.95 a year to have the social media pack, 20% of platform ad revenue. Okay. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, that means that all the ad revenue that you'd get from your YouTube video, right? That I would get from my YouTube video because I'm using it in my own content. So let's say the bug bite, let's say it goes crazy and it gets like a lot of views. It makes a lot of money. It means that I would not be getting that money from YouTube, and like, you know, whatever YouTube takes out of it, I would not be getting that. Instead, what would happen is ads would still run on the video. Then but then the ad revenue would come to this thing over here, however they do it. And then they would take an additional 20% off the platform, an additional 20%. So I was like, well, if I primarily use my own music, and then there's not a way to whitelist. There's not a way to whitelist the like my whole channel. So I'd have to say video by video by video to say in DistroKid, like, all right, allow this one. I'm like, but every single one of my videos use my music. So it doesn't really make much sense to do that, does it? So I was like, all right. I had to delete the entire album out and put it back in because without this thing, because it was crazy. It was driving me. I'm like, all right, we're not gonna have this problem. I'm gonna drop the album. I'm gonna drop the album in the chat so that whoever is interested, they can pre-save it on Spotify. It is gonna be available on all streaming platforms next week, Thursday, December 18th, 2025. You know how we do. You know how we do over here. It is a fire album. But I was like, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. But it's what it is. You live and you learn. You live and you learn. So, and this was the first time, because I always thought about it, right? I always thought about putting in the creator pack in case anybody uses the music. But then I don't like it. It doesn't make sense for me, and I wouldn't mind if somebody uses my music, but if they're gonna go through trouble of not being able to use it, and I'm like, all right, let's just leave it out. Use the music, do whatever you want with it, but we're not doing this. So that was what I learned today. That's what, and then at the beginning of the show, why I had all these technical difficulties with the music and stuff like that is because I was moving files around, changing names, and when I pressed on it, it didn't work. And it's been a day. It has been a day, but we're here, and we are ready to rock and to roll. All right, so what we're gonna get into, let me check the chat, and then we're gonna get to work. Let's see. Junior says, with problems comes solutions. That is very true. With problems do come solutions. All right. Oh, before we get started as well, I was talking to Rod Brown earlier today, and he is feeling much better. He basically lost his voice yesterday. He was already feeling terrible at work yesterday, like during the daytime, and he had to do a presentation where he spoke for about an hour, and he just felt so sick. He basically lost his voice. That's why he couldn't go live yesterday. He just was out of it, and but he told me today that he's feeling much better, but to keep him in our prayers. So we will. And by the way, he has a great interview coming out tomorrow, premiering tomorrow at 1:00 p.m. Eastern time. So tune into that and keep him in your prayers. He said his voice is getting better, but it's still a little sore. But he's going to make it through. He will make it through. But just wanted to give you an update, let you know that he is doing much better than he was yesterday. And he's doing what he has to do. But I did suggest to him that he should learn sign language because in case he loses his voice, he can always sign the live stream which then led me down this rabbit hole, which I forgot to check, but I'm going to check it right now. Do they have sign language live streams? Because that would be pretty interesting, I must say. So now I'm going to check, because I meant to check earlier today, but I forgot. So let me see. Live stream sign language? I'm just curious at this point. Let's see. I'm just looking. I don't necessarily see any live streams in sign language. Let's say I do sign language. And we do live. Let's see what we get. Oh, I think there is actually. There might be. ASL Christmas live stream. Listen to music and their sign language. This is kid stuff. I think they're live streaming in sign language. Let me see. I don't see any other sign language. Maybe we should learn sign language and then we can live stream in sign language. At least there might be one though. At least there, let me see. Oh, this guy is sign languaging at a church service in Jacksonville. Then they have the ASL Christmas live stream in sign language. So apparently it's a thing. It doesn't seem very popular, but it's a thing. Maybe. I don't know. So maybe it's something, maybe it's not. But nope. What a day. I tell you. Let me see. Where is... Can't find nothing. Can't get right. Where is my thing? There we go. Not my day today, apparently. Let's see here. I'll just go here. And we're gonna go to Thursday night. Building a custom Stream Deck timer plugin. Let's go with that. My life is a mess today. My life is an absolute mess today, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So before we do that, let me check the chat one last time, and then we're gonna get into building this Stream Deck plugin. Junior says sign language. That's a new one. You know, I agree. And I'm not talking about the Kevin Samuels sign language. I'm talking about actual sign language where you're using your hands to communicate with people. I don't know anything about sign language, so I'm not even going to embarrass myself, but not the shame, insults, guilt, it needs to be right. No, actual sign language where people they can't speak for whatever reason, whatever happened in their life, and they are using their hands to make signals to communicate with people, right? Oh my God. Shout out to the beloved. Shout out to my guy, Rod Brown. He is in the building. Hopefully I don't know if you heard me a few minutes ago, but I was giving an update, letting people know that you're feeling a little bit better. Your voice is still a little bit sore. And that you powered through a 1-hour presentation at work yesterday, and then you were just out of it. So, but I told everybody to keep you in their prayers. And I also mentioned that you're going to be premiering you're going to be premiering a video tomorrow, interview with Tanea. I think her name is Tanea Davis. So shout out to you, Rod Brown. Thank you so much for being here. All right, we are going to actually get started tonight. I'm just telling you, like, hopefully things get better, because we've been having a night tonight. We have been having a night, but we're going to get started. Let's put up our first 20 minutes.
It's time to
Let me go here first, actually, right? What I want is when I click on this on this button right here, all right, so basically what happens now, this doesn't work. It plays this sound, right? It's time to do it, whatever it says. It does a wait for 20 minutes and then it does lunch break, right? These two don't do anything, so there's no purpose in those. I was hoping to do a timer on them. Those didn't work, so and it's a multi-action button. For anybody who's ever used a Stream Deck, you're familiar with this, right? I've been using, I think I got this Stream Deck like maybe a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. I don't know, but I got it. And it works really great. I use it for just about everything that I do. I do want to bring it into using it for editing DaVinci when I'm editing my video. But basically, so now here's what I want though. I want when I press the button that it's going to play the sound and it's going to put a timer on the button. So if I look over at my Stream Deck, I can know exactly how much time is going down, right? Like the countdown. And then I can use it because I use it here because here's for a different sound. Here, I haven't really used the 5-minute timer, but I could, and I can put 5 minutes on here or whatever, right? So that is what I want to do on my Stream Deck. So when I press the button, it can actually give me a visual indication of counting down. All right. So what I have is the planning that we did. Remember we did planning. I think it was last week we might have did the planning. I think last week, maybe last Tuesday or something like that. But I have a Stream Deck on my Mac OS. So this was the prompt, right? I have a Stream Deck on my Mac OS. On my live streams, I have a multi-action button that plays a sound, counts down 20 minutes, and then plays a sound to let me know time is up. I'm using the multi-action delay to wait 20 minutes before playing the next sound. Is there a way that instead of Stream Deck showing me an icon that there's a delay happening, it can actually show me a countdown for the 20 minutes so that I can easily see how much time is left? So it talks about the standard delay is invisible. It pauses, yada, yada, yada. Instead, you need to work around using a timer. So it gave me the options of a timer that I could use, but those timers did not work for me. As I was mentioning earlier, I am a bit of a diva when it comes to tech. As you guys saw, I built my Python plugin. I was not happy with it. And then I went out there and I engineered a whole new native OBS plugin that works beautifully for me because, like I said, I am a diva. I am a tech diva. I do not like limitations. I don't like people telling me that I can't do something. I'm like, oh, I can't do it. Watch me. Hold me back. Hold me back. Watch me do me. All right. So we went and engineered a whole plugin, and then I was like, thank you to Rod Brown, who sent me the message at 11:54 p.m. Although it was a bit late, and I ended up staying up till 4 o'clock in the morning getting my Python script up and running. But all thank yous go to Rod Brown for giving me the idea. And then now a one message 11:54 p.m. Message that came in led to figuring out how to do it Python, figuring out how to use C#, build a plugin on Mac, and then build a plugin on Windows. Something that I also have to do is, because I am an Apple developer, I need to see if I can get the app verified, so you don't get that little pop saying this app isn't verified by Apple. So I want to see if I can do that as well, but that's a whole nother story. Maybe I'll stream looking into that. Maybe I'll go live more during the Christmas break because I have like about a week and a half off. So maybe I'll go a little bit live more during the Christmas break, and then we can do all types of projects and stuff like that, right? But for this project, I didn't like none of these solutions that it gave me, so we're just gonna skip down past that. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna skip down past that. So we got all the way to here. So this is one that we prompted, like, how could we build our own Stream Deck plugin? What language are Stream Deck plugins built in? I would want to build my own custom plugin that I could see. That's where my diva-ness comes in, because I'm like, I don't want to use and here's the other thing, right? I don't want to pay for a plugin either. I would rather pay my API fees for using the AI to build it myself, and then add on it by TechCoach Ralph to say that I did it, right? And then I can build it myself, and then I can customize it as I need, and then I can get feedback. And I from Junior, from the beloved, from Magnetar, because of course it's not going to work the first time. There's going to be bugs, and they're going to let me know that there's a bug and I need to fix it, or there's an enhancement I can make. Like when Junior told me that for the OBS plugin. Oh, I tried to do the share URL. That didn't work. I'm like, oh, cool. And then I was like, you know what? The live doesn't work. Live URLs don't work. Short URLs don't work. Let me put all of those in there. So, you know, from getting those type of reports, it helps you enhance your application, helps you build upon it. So that's why I love to do my own thing. All right. Look, can't nobody tell me nothing. Can't nobody tell me nothing. All right. Like that song said. All right, so let me go and close this thing. Actually, we're not live on vertical view tonight, so it is what it is. Let me close that up. All right, so now I said that I would want to build my own custom plugin that I load audios from my local computer, have a chosen audio file play when the button is pressed, have the countdown display on the Stream Deck button, have an audio file played when countdown is complete, and optional to have sounds play at certain points to let you know when you are halfway, a quarter of the way completed, etc. Also, as a post MVP, we could have different designs for the countdown, right? So it says, since you're a developer, thank you so much, and comfortable with C++, that's subjective, you are in a great position to build this. While you can use C++, the modern standard for Stream Deck plugins, especially ones focused on UI, countdown visuals, and file input output, is JavaScript/TypeScript running Node.js. Here's a breakdown on how to build your custom coach countdown. You see, look. Do you see how they try to butter me up talking about coach countdown? They know how that makes me feel. You know? Shout out to you. Who is that? I can't even see the name. Shout out to you for subscribing. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please drop me a comment. Let's go. Let's run it up. Right? But let's continue. So here's a breakdown for your custom code. So we're going to be using JavaScript or TypeScript. We're probably going to be using TypeScript because that is usually recommended. You know, runtime Node.js, no problem. We're just going to install Node.js. SDK Elgato Stream Deck, the official SDK. Architecture for your plugin, the backend of Node.js process that handles the logic, timer, playing sounds, file input output. The property inspector, a web page that appears in the Stream Deck software, implementing your features. So basically, this is how we're going to do it. What I'm going to do though, is I am going to take this and I'm going to pass it over to, let's go over here. I'm going to pass it over to SpecKit. So we're going to call this stream. We're going to say, we'll call it Stream Deck Coach Timer. Is that what they said? They said Coach Timer, right? I'm definitely gonna go with Coach Timer. I like how that sound. I'm telling you, they be trying to butter me up. Coach Countdown. I'm sorry. We're gonna go with Coach Countdown. All right, so we're gonna do Coach Countdown. We're gonna say it's gonna be in TypeScript. Yeah, you can create it as a Git repository, generate a playground project with onboarding tips. No, let's not do that. And let's go to create. And today we are using WebStorm because we're building in TypeScript. So we need to use WebStorm. Let me go and install my trusty Kilo code, which we're going to be talking about a little later today. Oh wait, I don't want, let me go close that. Let's go to plugins and we are going to do Kilo. Where's Kilo? Oh wait, there we go. Kilo code. Kilo code is going to be a topic of discussion today, so stick around for that. But we're installing Kilo Code. I need to go get me an API key. Let me go make me a new API key, actually. In order to make your API key, you got to go to Android or to Google AI Studio. And we have Kilo Code installed. It's installing now. Let me go to Google AI Studio, get me a Kilo Code, or get me a new API key for. And I was saying the other day that where's my API key? There you go. That if I was to ask somebody to build the OBS plugin for me, we're looking at a few $1,000s to maybe tens of thousands of dollars. I don't know for that one in particular how much it would cost. You know what I'll do? Let me know in the chat and in the comments what you think about this. What if I take the specs for the OBS plugin that we created and I post it to a like a Upwork or a Fiverr, or yeah, I think it's Upwork and Fiverr, right? To see what kind of bids I would get for that. Like how much would they say it would cost to build that versus how much it actually costs? Because it cost us, I'm gonna say a little less than $100 based on my crazy API prompting day. But it probably would have been a lot less if I was a little bit more disciplined that day. But I would really like to know how much that we would be charged for like what would a quote be to building that native plugin in with C++ and making it work for Windows, like delivering me a Windows and a Mac plugin, and to give me the source code as well. I'm gonna say it's probably. I'm going to estimate $5,000. Let me know in the chat, how much do you think a C++ developer would have charged me to build the code and to give me the source code? Let's see. Let's go here. And let's go to Kilo Code. We are going to say Google Gemini 3. And okay, I thought I said Google Gemini 3. Okay, I see we're not. All right, you want to be a little bit difficult today. I see. Okay, I see you. Let's go to. I think this happens every time you install it for the first time. I'm going to close WebStorm and open it back up. Close it down all the way. Wait for it to open back up. But yeah, what do you think about that? Do you think I should, what do you think about this? What about any project, small project, because a big project, it'll take forever and stuff like that. But what do you think about if we post a small project, like the requirements that we, like after we complete it, right? We post the requirements of the project to one of those platforms, and then we see what are they going to quote us for. Is that what I want? Yeah, Google Gemini. And then we do save. You must provide what? I said Gemini. Save. You must provide a valid key. All right, I'm gonna try this again. We're gonna take Google Gemini. All right, we're gonna paste our key in there. Gemini 3. All right, done. Do you want to discard? No, I want to save it. All right, I'm gonna do this. Let's do this instead. Let's say Gemini, create profile, Gemini, make active, done. All right, we're good. We're good. So I am going to also do, I want to do spec kit. I want to do spec kit. Switch to code, switch to architect. Let's go to spec kit. Let's go over here. And I want to use spec kit with Kilo code, if that's possible. If not, then we'll have to do it a different way. But spec kit, init, new project. Install once and use everywhere. I think that's what I did. Then use a tool directly, spec kit init project name, init.ai. Let's do an upgrade though. Let's see if we go to our terminal and I say this. All right. So I got the latest one, which was 2 versions up. Or okay. Now, what I'm gonna do is let's go to here and I'm gonna say I want to use spec kit in WebStorm with Kilo code. Let's see how good this is gonna. Why am I not in dark mode, by the way? Let's go to settings. Dark. There we go. I want to use spec kit and WebStorm with Kilo code to map out the requirements and tasks for building this plugin with TypeScript. Can you give me a step-by-step guide to doing so? Let's see what we get with that. Okay, all right, so this looks like that. Okay, there we go. All right, it's a powerful combination. You're effectively combining spec-driven development with autonomous AI agent inside WebStorm. Using spec kit methodology for SDD, spec-driven development, gives you a rigid source of truth, while Kilo code, the AI agent, acts as the workforce that reads those specs and implements them in code mode. Before writing specs, ensure the foundation is ready so Kilo code has the correct context. So we need to install Elgato. So let's start off with this. And then we're gonna do scaffold the project, create an empty shell for Kilo to work in, Streamdeck create, name techo.com. I think I'm gonna do dev.techodrop.countdown, and then template, select counter, best starting point for a visual plugin. And then language TypeScript, and then initialize spec kit. All right, cool. Pip install spec kit. Okay, cool. So let's do this. Let's start off with here. We're gonna do, and that's why I asked Gemini first, because if I did not, I probably would have went down a bad rabbit hole. So we're gonna do clear, and we're gonna do npm install -g Elgato CLI. Okay, so that is done. And then we need to do Streamdeck create. And author is going to be Tech Coach Ralph. And then plugin name is going to plugin name. Does that mean the actual name of the plugin, or does that mean the suppose you can always, I'm gonna go with what Google said with what Gemini said for now, but I suppose you can always change it afterwards. Tech coach Ralph countdown. And oh shoot. That's what I thought. Right? That's what I thought. It should have been, so the name should have been Coach Countdown. All right, whatever. So we'll just do dev.techcoachralph.countdown, and I'll fix the name later on. That's not a big deal. Description. Stream Deck plugin that plays sound, shows countdown, plays sound at the beginning, shows countdown timer, and plays sound at the end. Create Stream Deck plugin from information above. Yes. Cool. While it's doing that, we can go to break. And I'm going to check the chat, and then we shall get to our first topic of conversation for tonight. Let's see. The beloved says, yes. Yeah, this laryngitis is killing me. Voice coming back a little, but still got arrested. I hear you. We want you to get better. I know you have a lot of work to do this weekend, so hopefully by Saturday morning, all is said and done, and you're able to get back onto your feet. Let me see. Junior says, that's a great idea, and see how much they'll charge to get the same thing done. That's what I want to know. My guess is about $5,000 at minimum. And the beloved says, Coach Countdown sounds better. Yes, it does. Coach Timer, bleh. Coach Countdown, now we're talking. All right. Okay, so we are going to jump into our first break time conversation for tonight. Hopefully I have this right, because I have been a mess. Let's go over to break one. Can artificial intelligence play a role inside of the financial industry? So, hold on. I am just so unprepared today, I tell you. I am ashamed of myself today. Let me go and get this. See, go here. All right, that's good. Let's go to save that. All right, so let's jump into this. I want to watch this video about AI in financial services, and then we shall see how let's see how that goes. Right. So this video is brought to us by CNBC. Squawk Box, I think the show is called. Let's give it a listen, see what happens.
Joining us now, Financial Services Committee Chairman French Hill, Congressman, Mr. Chairman. It's always good to have you on. Can you?
Was that supposed to be a joke? Like, why does he have a book when he's supposed to be doing an interview with CNBC? Like, I don't. His face looks a little clownish, to be honest. This congressman's face looks a tad bit clownish after he puts the book down. Like, oh, I'm doing an interview. So I'm just. The book is 1929, the year of the stock market crash and everything like that. But his face looks just a tad bit clownish, right?
Look at this. Oh, wow. Save that. Joining us now, Financial Services Committee Chairman French Hill, Congressman, Mr. Chairman. It's always good to have you on. Can you? Oh, look at this. Oh, wow. Save that tape and bring it in. It's not signed yet.
I can't put it down.
Oh my goodness! Thank you, Chairman.
Oh, it's somebody's book on the panel that he's pandering. Okay, he's pandering. All right, whatever. This is. Politicians are the absolute worst. They will pander to and for anything. I almost don't want to watch this video because I am so annoyed by these little shenanigans. I can't put it down. Shut up. Shut the hell up.
That's nice. I was thinking about what AI means. I was trying to figure it out, actually, where the concerns are. I imagine both sides of the aisle have different concerns about what could go wrong using AI for financial services, for housing, for mortgages, who gets a loan. I mean, it's hard enough when humans are involved. Is it going to be something that needs to be watched very carefully? What are the concerns, Mr. Chairman?
Well, it's good to be with you, Joe. Thanks. Look, last Congress, Speaker Johnson had a House-wide of artificial intelligence task force. I served on it for the year, and then we did special roundtables in the last Congress on financial services. Now,
I'm going to say this right. And with all due respect, because I do not know this guy from Adam, never heard of him before. I don't even know his name or what state he represents or whatever, right? What district, whatever. I don't know what his background is, but him and his committee and his task force on AI, do you believe, let me know in the comments, do you believe this guy, without watching the video, if you know him, then great. But with that, before we go any further, do you believe that he knows anything about artificial intelligence, let alone about technology? My leanings are towards no, just by him having a book in his, just by him having a book in his hand. I'm gonna say no, because I think I would probably have the audiobook, or I'd probably have the digital copy, but him having like a book that can be used as a weapon, I don't know. But I don't know, like my sentiments on these politicians knowing about tech, about AI, they are slim to none.
In the committee, and in both instances, we found that artificial intelligence can really help financial services identify customers, serve customers more effectively, stop fraud, do a better job on compliance, take big, complex tasks and sort them quicker using artificial intelligence. But with every instance, there's a human in the loop to make sure that use of artificial intelligence, those models that are being used, are being done in compliance with federal law, fair lending laws, or AML, BSA laws, just to name two.
I mean, is it safe to say that it would be harder to have something like 2008 again, because obviously an AI program, if there's not an address, you're not going to get a mortgage, I guess. But then it also seems like it would never be able to take into account special circumstances for mortgages or for lending, and could be.
What type of special circumstances should be in mortgage and lending? See, and this is how we have all the fraud, all that other stuff, is because of these quote unquote special circumstances. What is a special circumstance? Fraud, scams, etc. The way that these computers and AI will have this fraud is because the humans are going to program the fraud into it. I think the reason that most of us get into these dire situations is because we believe the mentality that everyone should own a home. Owning a home is a right. All of that type of stuff, where, you know what, if you have to pay for something, if you have to use money to pay for something, it's not a right. It's a privilege. If you have to work for it, it's not a right. So if they have to continue to lower the barriers, the standards for you to be able to do something, then if you have to get something from somebody else, it's not a right. So now when they say, oh, well, you know, special circumstance, because someone, they messed up their credit and this and that, so we're going to do backflips in order to get them into something that they can't afford. And that's what humans do. That's what humans do. And now they're going to program this nonsense into the AI, and then when the AI does something stupid, we're gonna blame the AI instead of us who programmed it into the AI to do it.
Even more cruel or less understanding than a human in certain instances. I mean, I'm worried we're all going to be, the machines aren't going to need any of us in about 50 years. Luckily, I might already be gone. But what are the concerns on how it could go awry?
Well, I think it could go awry in the sense that you don't have that human in the loop. You don't have human judgment making. We all know that in experimenting with AI, even as a consumer, we see hallucinations. We see radically incorrect outcomes and information that's generated by AI machine learning. But we know it is getting better, and we know it's very effective at sorting through giant, complex models. And so I think it does have benefits when it's used as a tool by humans. What we want the federal regulatory system to do, the bank supervisors, the SEC, and the exchanges, we want them to use it as a tool, experiment with it, see how it can be effective. That will help us learn how best to use it in a compliance point of view, and also how effective it can be. We can learn by seeing it learn, and so I support using sandboxes in the federal regulatory agencies so that regulators and market participants, both in securities and banking.
This guy just say a sandbox. He said a sandbox. I mean, he's right. But all right, you know what? What's his name? I gotta look him up. I'm sorry, I gotta look him up. What is his name? Set a sandbox. Why can't I click? Let me see if I can find his name. French Hill. All right, let me see the background of this French Hill guy. Okay, so, and watch right about, you're gonna see when I come back, the video is still gonna be there. French Hill, what's his background? What is his background? American businessman and politician serving the U.S. Representatives Arkansas 2nd District since 2015. He's a member of the Republican Party, age 69 years old. Yep. Yep. What kind of business does French Hill have? Oops. Background in banking, investments, and finance, having founded and led Delta Trust and Bank Corp. Worked on commercial investment banker and served the Treasury Department. Prominent figure. Does French Hill have any technical background? Significant background in finance and banking, which translates to a strong technical technical understanding. All right, that's not what I asked. That is not what I asked. All right, be nice to him. All right, I got you. Congressional leadership on fintech. So he basically does not have any tech background. Okay, let's keep going.
We see hallucinations, we see radically, and so I think it does with it, see how it can be effective. That will help us learn how best to use it in a compliance point of view, and also how effective it can be. We can learn by seeing it learn, and so I support using sandboxes in the federal regulatory agencies so that regulators and market participants, both in securities and banking, can see how it can improve tasks and improve outcomes while doing.
If they were to ask him, oh, how does a sandbox look? What do you think his answer would be? I just imagine you have this guy who was doing banking in like the 60s or whatever, right? Maybe not 60s, because he would have been like 19 years old, maybe. No, he would have been like 10 years old. So let's say in the 70s, 80s, right? He's doing banking. And now in 2025, he's talking about a sandbox. And if you ask him, oh, how do these sandboxes work? Well, you put the computer in the box that has the sand in there, and that way it prevents any data from coming out of the computer because it's captured by the sand, and it makes it impossible to do stuff in the non-sandbox. That's probably what you'd get.
Doing that in a safe and sound manner.
And then I think about, extend it to healthcare or health insurance, and once again, you're left with the same possible benefits and the same possible problems on how it works. Speaking of healthcare, your ear is to the ground on all these issues. What's the House proposing? Where is the Senate? Where's Speaker Johnson? What's the timeline for dealing with all these issues that seem more front and center because of what happened during the shutdown?
Well, it's unfortunately went through 41 days of the shutdown. It put us behind on our agenda of serving the American people. But right now, you're right. Both the House and Senate under John Thune and under Mike Johnson are trying to find consensus on a Republican consensus on how best to lower health care costs for the American people. I think competition, transparency are key to that. We've tried that for years. We've never had support from our friends on the other side of the aisle, and so that fight continues. But we also try to see if we can find consensus on reforms connected to a short-term renewal of these insurance company premium subsidies.
Sandboxes, all right? Just put everything in the sandbox. As far as the healthcare for AI and healthcare, I've heard really good results where they'll upload their scan results and stuff like that, whatever results that they get, and they put it inside of ChatGPT, and it breaks down the analysis. And they're probably using it on the free one. So imagine how much better it would be on a paid model. But I heard also that it's annoying the doctors because now the patients are asking more informed questions, and there is nothing more that bothers a doctor than an informed patient about. Nothing that bothers a doctor more than a patient that actually cares about their health, so they ask questions and just instead of just believing what the doctor tells them. So I get it. That's why a lot of these people in the upper echelon do not like AI because it trains more. I mean, if they're using it for the right reason, of course, right? It trains the more common person. It breaks down the technical jargon that these upper echelon people use, and now into everyday language, so that you can actually be part of the conversation instead of just like, oh, go take this prior direction type medicine, whatever they call it. And they're like, well, I have to take that. And now they search, what is this medication? Oh, it does this. Like, why do I need this? And honestly, it's because, well, the doctor is getting paid whatever amount of money for suggesting it. So AI is helping a lot of people ask much better questions to the people who used to have all the power back in the day, right? So can artificial intelligence play a role in the financial industry? Absolutely. And it already does. The question is, though, here's another problem that's going to happen, though. If AI is going to train you or lead you to make better financial decisions, then people will probably just stop using the AI. That's my suspicion. That is my suspicion, right? Let's get to the chat, and then we shall get back to our next segment of work. The beloved says, the thing is, AI is already being used in the financial sector. You know, the government is always late to the party. And can you believe this? Somebody questioned me, because I said, whenever the government shows up and says, hello, I'm from the government and I'm here to help, you should be terrified. And someone said, when has the government ever did something wrong when they said, hello, I'm here to help? And I'm like, I gave him like a list of like 30 things. And I said, like, what are you talking about? What are you like FEMA? What? Every FEMA incident? Isn't there like a controversy every time there's a natural disaster? Junior says, AI is everywhere. Yes, it is. Let me see. The beloved says, this guy right here has absolutely no idea what he is talking about. Yeah, but they are our representatives. DB Darrow, what's up, DB Darrow? What's good? What's happening? DB Darrow says they are both trying to talk about something their staffers told them about during a meeting. Absolutely. Isn't that what you do? Isn't that what you're supposed to do? Let's see. Says, what's good? I used the Winger and downloaded FFmpeg. Things worked out perfectly. Shout out. You see, my guy, Junior, we had a conversation about that, about how he used FFmpeg to get his corrupted video working. It was really interesting. I think I have to post that. That was our last vibe coding show. I got to post that. That was a really good conversation, riveting. All right, we are going to get into our next segment of work.
Let's go! Let's go!
All right, let's go over to here. All right, so we have our plugin successfully installed. However, I want to go into I want to go and fix the name wherever that might be. Let me do a search for this right here. All right, name in the manifest.json. So I'm gonna call it coach countdown. There we go. And then we have our UID, all that other stuff, right? Okay, so now that we got this created, let's go back into Gemini. So we created that. I didn't have the option to select the counter template, but I think it created one anyways. Where's the manifest.json? Oh, there we go. It says name counter. So I'm copying the manifest.json from the code, and because before I do this, it didn't ask me for a template when creating the Stream Deck plugin. This is the manifest JSON that was generated. Will that be a problem? Let's go here. And then while that's happening, then we can, well, not while that's happening, but while that's happening, we can start looking at over here. So next thing we're going to do pip install spec kit, or however you prefer to install the CLI tool. You might already have it. So we do spec kit in it. It creates a .spec folder and constitution. If you're manually doing SDD without Python CLI, just create the root folder .specs. I don't think we need to do that. The architect mode, mapping requirements. This is where you use Kilo Code to think before it codes. Switch to Kilo Code architect mode in your Kilo panel in WebStorm. Switch to the code to architect and tell the AI not to write code yet, but plan to. Draft spec.md, create a file .spec/spec.md, paste your requirements into the chat file or file prompt for Kilo Code. I'm building a Stream Deck plugin. Help me write a strict spec.md file for a coach countdown. All right, local audio, milestone sounds. Must use Elgato Stream Deck SDK. Must use HTML Canva API for drawing text to the button. All right, so let's go ahead. So let me see what they said about this. This is not a problem at all. In fact, it's perfect. The CLI generated standard counter boilerplate gives you the correct folder structure. The script builds and working example of how to talk to Stream Deck. We just need to remodel the house rather than building it from scratch since you want to use spec kit. Here's the exact spec MD and tasks that you create. I am going to not do this part in particular. I'm going to go back up here then and do So spec init. So let's go back over here. Inside of here, we're gonna do spec kit init. Spec kit command. All right, so pip install spec kit. Or can we install it with, let me see, can we do npm install spec kit? Npm install spec kit. Nope. Pip install spec kit. All right, hold on. Let's go. Let me go check the spec kit repo. And all right, so we have, let's see, we have the tool installed. Okay, so specify init, create a new project name. Let's see, coach countdown. And we're going to be using kilo code. Well, are we using kilo code though? Let me see. What are we using? We're not using the Gemini CLI. We're not using. Let's try kilo code. See what happens. SH. All right, go to project folder. So ls coach countdown. Go to project folder and cd coach countdown. And then we need to do, all right, so if I go to okay, so let's go to back to Gemini. What would be a good project constitution to use for this project? And then if I'm in here and we say for this project using SpecKit and Kilo code, the SpecKit constitution is critical. It serves as a Supreme Court for your AI agent to define the rules that cannot be broken. Since Streamdeck development has some specific quirks, Node.js runtime and a web runtime, your constitution needs to be strict to prevent the AI from trying to use browser APIs in the backend. Here's the robust project constitution. So I'm going to copy this whole thing. Coach countdown, plugin, mission statement, building a robust technology stack, architecture invariants, data flow, coding standards, file handling, testing philosophy, prevents DOM and Node, enforces audio stability, cross-platform safety, save the file. All right, so we're gonna go into I don't like how it puts a folder inside of it. Like it's separate, but whatever. Let's do so if I go in here and I say spec kit.constitution and I paste all, oops, not that. and I paste, because I kind of believe that I should get hold on, let me see something. Edit. I don't know why it's so zoomed in on me. Let's see. Code. Let's say if I do create a new mode. And we do, let me close the whole thing down actually. Because maybe it has to pick up, maybe I have to close it and open it to pick up the spec kit changes. WebStorm. So let's go in here. And let's see it. I don't see it. So let me see if I do. Constitution. Define the role, when to use, custom instructions. Interesting. Well, we're just gonna create the file in here that, well, it's called specify though. Let me see. Because I thought I would see the whole, let me see, specs, specify constitution. And we do, so we drop that in there. Well, let's see what happens with that. I don't know. Because it should be creating a specs folder that would, nope, see, something weird is happening already. Something weird is happening already. Cancel. How do I cancel this? Cancel. Yeah. Just like I thought. All right. The whole spec kit setup always feels a little weird. And it always feels a little weird, and when running it in a WebStorm. So if I'm looking over here, where's my mouse? Okay, so launch your AI assistant in the project directory. The specify the spec kits dot are available in the assistant. See, it's not available in mine. And that's the part that annoys me here. But if we go back to, so I'm going to do this. Let's go over to here. And we're going to go to CD. WebStorm projects, Stream Deck, Coach Countdown, and we're gonna do. So let's do, according to the documentation. Gemini CLI, or no. Let's say specify init. And you must specify either the project name. All right, so I'm going to delete this one actually. Let's delete to this. And we're going to go to specify init dot. Current directory is not empty. Template files will be merged with existing content and may override existing files. Do you want to continue? Yes, I do. I think. And let's use Gemini CLI for now. Because the kilo code is not. Let me try something real quick. Actually, let me try kilo code one more time. Because it's possible that I was using it. It's possible that I was using it in a folder in too deep and it wouldn't pick up, possibly. So now, condense your content session. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it in here. So I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to say yes. And I'm going to say Gemini CLI. So let's just do it through Gemini because I've always had success doing it through Gemini CLI. I rarely have good success trying to do it through server disconnected. Let's see. Okay. All right. So now if I pull up Gemini CLI, hold on. Is it just Gemini CLI, no dash? How do I start Gemini CLI? How to start Gemini CLI in terminal. It is going to be just Gemini. It's just Gemini. Imagine that. All right, so now we want to say specify constitution. And now I'm going to paste in the constitution that we got from Gemini. Oh, no sandbox. All right, and we're going to say enter. So, implementing the constitution. So if I look over here, maybe templates, memory. So I'm guessing it's going to create a folder. Oops, cancel that. Defining constitutions content. Give it a second to do that. So basically I'm going to do all this stuff through. All right. So, writing, specify memory, testing philosophy, logic that calculates time or handling strings should be testable in isolation. Write file. Yes. Allow execution of Git. Yes. Show. Yes. 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 All right, so let's see. All right, so the Constitution has been written. I declare. Now the question is, where is it? Memory, Constitution. All right, there we go. There would be our Constitution, I suppose. this stuff is. But all right, cool. So the next thing that we need to do after doing our constitution would be to, if we go over here, we need to define what our specifications are. So I'm going to copy this. I'm building a Stream Deck plugin. Help me write a strict spec MD for a coach countdown plugin. Visual countdown, local audio, milestone alerts, technical constraints. Let's go here. And lunch break. All right, before we go to lunch break, I am going to throw in this last prompt. We're going to say slash spec kit dot it's going to be dot specify, create an update, the feature specifications. Yeah, let's do that one. And then I'm going to paste that in there and enter. And now it's doing its thing. So I'm going to let it, ooh, cannot, what are you talking about? API error, cannot read undefined. What are you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? What's all about, Willis? Okay, so hopefully that goes through. Let it do its thing. And we will go to break. But so far, you know, a little shaky, but it's doing its thing. It is doing its thing. Let me go to, let's go to break. Check the chat, and then we will go to our next topic. So let me see. Here says that's a Ronald Reagan quote. Which quote is, because if I said it, I have no idea what I said earlier. If somebody else said it, just let me know which quote is the Ronald Reagan quote. Because I don't remember what I say. So that's why I get in trouble sometimes, because I just be saying stuff and then it's like, but you said this. I'm like, did I really? Do you have it on camera? They probably do, because I'm always streaming, but that's another topic. All right. We are going to talk about the former GitLab CEO. They raised $8 million for Kilo Code, which we're just trying to use. Which was unsuccessful. But it's going to help us a lot once we actually start building. So that's what I really care about, the building part. I have no problem using Gemini CLI as we do this, because I always end up using Gemini CLI when we're using the spec kit part. All right, so let me see, where's this article at? Hold on, let me get it. All righty then. So let's jump over to this article. For those who do not know what GitLab is, I have personally never used GitLab, but GitLab is basically like GitHub. I don't know what makes GitLab different or special because I've never used it, but in this article, the former GitLab CEO raises money for Kilo to compete in the crowded AI coding market. It is a very, very crowded market, but the reason that I stick with Kilo continually is because I get to bring my own API keys, and I'm not paying a monthly subscription. It's just whatever I use. So I can plug in my OpenAI API key if I wanted to. I can plug in my Claude Code API key if I wanted to. I use my Gemini key because that's the one that I have. And it's been working pretty good for me, but there's a lot of competition. Kilo Code is open source. They do offer their own API key if you want to use it, but I just prefer to use my own stuff, right? I'm selfish like that. I'm a diva like that. It is what it is. So this article is written by Jordan Novett, and the TLDR, the too long didn't read, the skinny, is Kilo Code makes a vibe coding extension for programming applications such as Microsoft Visual Studio Code, also for JetBrains products. And that is why I continue to use Kilo Code, because I am a JetBrains fanboy. I used Sea Lion for building the OBS plugin. We're using WebStorm to build this plugin. We use PyCharm to build other stuff. So we use IntelliJ for Java applications. I just love JetBrains products, right? The company was launched early this year by a group including Sid Shizbrandish? I'm sorry. Previously co-founder and CEO of coding company GitLab. Kilo has raised $8 million in seed funding from Breakers, Kodo Capital, General Catalyst, Quiet Capital, and Tokyo Bank. Tokyo Black. So I'm interested in how, if they're an open source platform where you have the option to use their API key, but you can use whatever API key you want, how do they plan to make money? All right. So investors are betting there's room for another startup using artificial intelligence to help software engineers write code faster. The difference with Kilo Code is it counts former GitLab CEO, we're gonna go with Sid, amongst its founders. On Wednesday, Kilo Code announced $8 million in seed funding with backing from Breakers, Kodo Capital, General Catalyst, Quiet Capital, and Tokyo Black. Sid is a self-taught developer who helped popularize GitLab's tools for source code collaboration, deployment, and testing. GitLab went public in 2021 and is valued at more than $6 billion. What? $6 billion? Sweet. Sid stepped down as CEO last year to focus on cancer treatment, but continued as board chair. Oh, that sucks that he had to do cancer treatment and that he had to step down. Since then, the technology industry has become obsessed with having large language models write and update software, a practice commonly known in Silicon Valley as vibe coding, which I absolutely hate that name of vibe coding. Because it doesn't do it justice. Because what I did with the OBS plugin, what I've been doing with other plugins, with the speech app, I don't consider that vibe coding, right? I consider that like carefully crafted AI programming. It says OpenAI founder Andre Karpathy is credited with coining the term in February. OpenAI looked at buying AI coding startup Windsurf for around $3 billion, but scrapped that plan before Google hired senior Windsurf employee in a $2.4 billion transaction in July. Rival Cursor announced a $2.3 billion funding round in November at a $29.3 billion valuation. So there is a lot of money in these AI tools, all right? At Microsoft, vibe coding already makes up 30% of the company's code, CEO Satya Nadella said in April. Sid witnessed the action and became fascinated by what AI could do for software development. I'm fascinated by it myself. In September, an acquaintance introduced him to Scott Brittenother, who started and later sold consultancy Brooklyn Data. I thought we were just kind of having a meet and greet, and then 25 minutes in, Sid's like, "Hey, can you start next week?" Talk about getting offered a job on the spot. Sid contributed early capital for the startup, which now employs about 34 people across the continent. Brittenother is in charge, but he talks with Sid many times a day. That's awesome. That is awesome. Kilo Code software plugs into coding applications as Cursor and Microsoft Visual Studio Code and JetBrains products, all JetBrains products, including Android Studio, IntelliJ, WebStorm, all of that. It's mostly widely used service for startup open routers application programming interface that gives developers access to a variety of models, including Grok Code Fast 1 from Elon Musk's XAI. Kilo Code has processed more than 3 trillion tokens in the past month, according to OpenRouter. A single token represents about 3/4 of a word. Ooh, they're trying to kill me with these names. Daniel Langzego, a software engineer at Dutch e-commerce startup Plug and Pay, said that he used Kilo Code for months after trying products from Anthropic, Cursor, and Microsoft, among others. He said he appreciates Kilo Code support for both premium and affordable models, and he likes the people's publicly contribute. He likes that people can publicly contribute to Kilo Code extension under an open source license. Yes, I absolutely love that. And I'm telling you, like, it was, let me see if I can find the Discord. It was, I don't know if I still have his name, but it was a guy in the Discord for Kilo Code who I worked with in testing to see that, it was going to work in the JetBrains product. So that I was super happy about that. Lanzego has spread the word. About 80% of plug-and-play developers now use Kilo Code, he said. It helped save time for one teammate who recently assembled a complex SQL query. And here's the thing. The only thing about Kilo Code that I would caution on, being that it is using your own API key and it's charging as you're prompting, you need to be aware of your cost can go up. For the most part, it probably won't, depending on how often you're using it, but it is possible that it can skyrocket if you're not careful, like what happened to me last week. It says, with Kilo, it took him a day, Langezal said. If he didn't have access to Kilo, it would have taken him a few days to implement. GitLab, which has been testing a platform for AI agents to perform tasks, is paying attention and was interested in what Kilo is building. I talked to the board, Sid said. We ended up deciding to do it outside of GitLab. GitLab included reference to Kilo in a filing last month. The company said that it paid Kilo $1,000 in exchange for a right of first refusal for 10 business days should the startup receive an acquisition proposal before August of 2026. Now that's what you want. You want a right of first refusal because that's basically like, if someone's going to make you an offer, you have to present that offer to the right of first refusal first. And then they can say, okay, no, I don't want it. That's too rich for my blood. Go over to whoever. Or you say, oh no, I am taking the deal. All right. Let's see. The market is rapidly evolving. Design software company Figma and a slew of startups now offer vibe coding options for less technical people. It's a category Kilo Code won't be ignoring for much longer. We also want to be in the place for people just getting started with code. Sid said, we are working on an app builder that's more like a Lovable or Bolt experience. He said, referring to two popular startups, Lovable based in Sweden announced funding at 1.8 billion valuation in July. I remember that. And that is it. So the reason I wanted to review this particular article is because we use Kilo Code heavily. I remember our first episode, or not our first episode, our first time using Kilo Code. I named the episode, we got code by the kilos. That's what I called it. We have code by the kilos because I absolutely love the idea. And when we first started using it, it was kind of flaky, but it's been getting much, much better lately. And the plugins are in the stores and I'm always using it. I am always using it. It helps me a lot with the mobile development, with whatever development we were doing. Like with the C++ development, I was so happy to see that it worked inside of Sea Lion. So I have nothing but great things to say about Kilo Code, the people in their Discord, and the work that they put out. All right. So that is what I have for that one. Let me get to the chat really, really quick, and then we're going to get back to our last segments of work. Junior says, if government is here to help. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that one. I didn't know who said it, but when someone from the government shows up and says, hello, I'm here to help, you know, it's going down at that point. Nothing good is going to come out of that. And someone actually questioned me about that. Like they don't see everyday life. They don't see everyday life, right? So whatever. Anyways, let's go and jump into our last working segment.
It's time to do.
All right, so we are over here and it says git fetch. Oh, what are you talking about? All right, let's go and where's my mouse? Let's go and allow. I don't know what you're doing. Maybe it's trying to commit the stuff. Who knows? Visual con. Let's just say yes to everything. Oh, okay. I see what you're doing. You're specifying everything. I should just say yes to all instead of like having to keep saying yes, 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 yes. I'm writing the specs. Just say yes, always allow. Just do all the work. I don't need to approve every little thing that you want to do. All right, so they need some clarification. Let's see what you're asking me for. Question 1. Button behavior during countdown. From the specs edge cases section, what happens if the user presses the button while a countdown is already running? How should the plugin react if the button is pressed again while the countdown is active? A, stop the count. Pressing the button acts as a toggle. Press once to start, press again to stop. I agree with that. Reset. Pressing the button again will reset the timer to its initial. Now, do nothing. The button is nope. We're gonna go with pressing the button acts as a toggle. Press once to start, press again to stop. Yeah, I think so. We're gonna go with A. Because if you don't press it again, then it should just naturally count down and run out. So then the next thing after the specifications are done. Okay, what's this one? Okay, that's one I answered. The next one is going to be specify, then plan. Create a technical implementation. All right, so let me take a look at. Are you still waiting for me? I thought I told you that already. I thought I said A. Okay. Let me see. Next up, we're gonna do the plan after this is done. How many times I have to? Okay, so okay, we had passed that. Let's see. Let's say yes, allow. All right. Then prompt the user for the next step, reminding them. All right, so the specification is complete. Let me take a look at it real quick. Let's go to specs MD. All right, there we go. Let's now go to spec kit.plan. And as part of the plan, so the plan is where you're going to, the plan is when you're going to do the technical breakdown, the implementation plan. So I'm gonna copy that. So this is what I'm copying into Gemini CLI. Based on specs.md, generate a plan, break the architecture down into property inspector front end, plugin logic backend, drawing service. So let's go and do that. Let's go over here and I'm gonna paste that in there and I'm gonna say enter. Now it's gonna do that part. And we're gonna say yes to do that. Now it's building our technical plan out. So with the whole spec kit, it's really organizing the way that we're going to work so we can build the application based on the specifications. I'm pretty sure that's what we did for Sea Lion, which was very, very helpful. And that's why it ran pretty smoothly for the most part. What are these API errors? These API errors are annoying me. Let me see. Where did we? So we got a plan. Is it done? Research. Is it done? Okay. All right, I guess it's done. I don't know what this cannot read properties file thing is. Lastly, we need to do the tasks. Or not, yeah, we need to do the tasks. So we're gonna say spec kit tasks. We're going to say create task.md. And I see that there's one more that is for task to issues, which I've never done before. So maybe we'll do that one as well, because that'd be pretty cool if we can get tasks as GitHub issues. Never did that one before. Have the context from the plan. I'll create the task. Okay, I've got the plan and the specs. All right, so it created all the different stuff for it. And I'm just gonna do this last one over here for spec kit. Let's do spec kit dot. Well, let me do clarify first. Well, what does checklist do? All right, let's do clarify. See if there's anything we need to clarify. Make sure there's nothing that is confusing before we get into the implementation. Okay, so based on my analysis, I have one question to ensure the user experience is clear and under error consideration. Please provide clear immediate feedback when the user directly on the device where the action takes place without requiring this option A. Wait, what's the question? What's the question? Based on then, all right, so what is the question? I don't know what the question is. I'm guessing if there's some type of error, what to do. But I would go with option A. Briefly show an error icon on the button. Yeah, let's just do that. That's fine. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. I think it's all right. Cool. So we're done with that. And the last thing I want to do is spec. I want to do the task issues. Convert is existing task. All right, let's do that first. I just want to see what that does because I never used that one before. And if it can create my task into actionable GitHub issues, that'd be pretty cool. Did it do it? I don't know if it did it. All right. So now what we're going to do, we're going to transition over to key. I don't know if it did it actually. Try it one more time. I don't know if it did it. Because I keep getting this API error, cannot read properties of undefined, which I don't know what undefined is. Oh, okay, cool. We don't have a remote URL yet. This project doesn't have a get remote URL configured. I cannot create a GitHub. Oh. All right, I'll do that later. So now we're gonna go over into here and we are going to say code. So they had said, now there's a Kilo code mode. You will feed it task one by one, loop for each task, and select the task, highlight the first task. I'm going to try that in here actually. So if I was to go to get create action task. All right, so let's do implement. So we're going to do, because once we have, so we'll have this start to do the implementation, and then we can take over in Kilo, I believe. We'll get it started with Gemini CLI, and then once it starts doing something, we'll take it over with Kilo. This API error thing is really annoying me because I keep having to do this thing over and over again. And you guys know how I feel about doing things over and over again. It drives me absolutely crazy. Okay. Let's go here. Say allow everything. When I started tonight, I did not think that I would be using Gemini CLI. That was not on my to-do list for tonight. This thing is so annoying. All right. So much for Gemini CLI. Let's see. Let's say, can you implement the tasks specified in the let me see, copy path in the file, because I should have, honestly, I should have a thing here for Kilo, but I don't. So I'm gonna reach out to Kilo about that to see why we don't have that option. Like sometimes I see it, sometimes I don't, but we'll go with this. Ooh, what a jerk. What a jerk. Let me try that one more time. So, I put my Gemini 3 code in there. It says that quota exceeded limit. Hold on. Let me get another one then. Let me run that back. Try this one. Let's go with this one. Save, done. Retry. Damn it. I don't understand how I have to set up the billing, but I'm getting billed for it at the same time. Give me a second. I need to go into link to billing account. Let's say Firebase set account. You have reached the limit of project which can be enabled billing. break here. So which one has... okay. Okay. How is there no billing? You have reached the limit of projects which you can enable billing. What? I don't know what's going on here. Let's go to which project has billing enabled then? Billing account. I don't know. What a pity. Gemini API. Okay. There we go. So now I found that. So I'm just trying to get my billing enabled. This project is let's go here, go here, go here. Set up billing. Link to billing account. Firebase payment. Let's cancel that. Gemini API. Oh, hold on one second. Let me try something else. Give me a second. If I go to, where are my notes? There we go. Let me try that. Let me try this one. If I go to settings, save, done, retry. That one should work, hopefully. Yep, it's definitely going to work because it's taking time. All right, there we go. Now we're in business. We are in business. Had to find the right API keys. I don't know how Google handles its billing stuff, but it is what it is. While that's happening, I am going to go into GitHub. Let's create a new repo. Say new Stream Deck Coach Countdown. Stream Deck plugin for Countdown. Private. And let's say, I should honestly create these repositories before actually all right. We're pushing existing GitHub, so I'm gonna do this one right here. But I'm gonna go back over here. So cd install play sound, save dev, just let's do run that. Let me open this up. I'm gonna say git remote add. Wait, nope.
Lunch break!
CD.
Lunch break!
And I'm gonna do git add. All right, so now we're here. So now we should be able to get branch. We are, all right, we're on this branch. No, not a big deal. Cool. Let's go to break. Let's go to break. I'm debating coming back for one more working segment because I really want to see how much progress we can get on this. But I do have a story for our last break. Let me see if there's anything in the chat, and then nope, nothing in the chat. All right, cool. Let's get to this last break time topic, and then we shall decide if we're going to come back for one more segment or not. All right, let's go over to here. Elon Musk, his SpaceX, is it going to IPO in 2026? Will you invest in SpaceX? Well, let's see what in the world is happening with that. All right, so let's go to here. I'm going to go over to here. Let's get to it.
There's a lot that you and I have to cover on a potential SpaceX IPO, which we've reported is for the entirety of the business, right? Not just Starlink. But actually, important to start with, you would note that SpaceX is the private company that users of your platform are most interested in. In quantifying that for us, just transparently explain what Equity's End's relationship to SpaceX's private market shares is.
Sure. Thanks for having me, Ed. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. SpaceX is the most popularly requested private company on Equity's End. It's been that way for probably our entire existence as a business over the last 13 years. And that really just means that there is retail exuberance about investing in SpaceX. You know, the company is 23 years old. It's older than a lot of my employees. It has garnered interest. It's had success. It's out in the public. People have done incredibly well with Tesla as public market investors. And so there's a lot of enthusiasm to invest in the company while it's private, and what seems to be now an opportunity to invest in it while it's public in maybe even less than a year, which is pretty surprising.
I will say about Elon Musk, he puts on a great show of what the companies that he is in charge of, what their capabilities are. So when he does the Tesla, I don't know what they call it, but that event that they do where they have the Tesla diner, which I believe Trey, Tech Bags Trey from the Talk That Tech morning show on Mondays, I believe he went to that Tesla diner and he said it was absolutely fascinating. And so when they do that Tesla van and the Cybercab, the humanoid robots and all that type of stuff, like, it is a great marketing show. The features that the regular Tesla cars have in them, the upgrades and stuff like that. And then now, when you think about SpaceX, that marketing that they did because it's valuable stuff. Rescuing those 2 astronauts from outer space was huge. And the chopsticks that caught the rocket, like a reusable rocket, who could ever imagine? So he sets these companies up to have absolutely amazing IPOs. People love space. I see people wearing the NASA shirts and hats and all that stuff all the time. And I think that with SpaceX, that reinvigorated people's love for outer space. So that's really, really cool, really, really exciting. So let's keep going.
There is, of course, a lot that we don't know. What percentage of the company is SpaceX going to offer? What is the structure of the IPO going to be? But in reporting this story, Phil, one of the things I reflect on is that existing SpaceX shareholders aren't that diverse. You have Founders Fund, Fidelity, Google through Google Ventures and through Corp Dev, 137 Ventures, and then like others in the world of venture capital and strategics. But my point is that quite a lot of the company is owned by quite a small group, and then there's the Elon Musk factor as well. How does that translate in an IPO environment for anyone that wanted to get into the company?
Well, there's a couple other things to think about, which is that a 23-year-old company has had a lot of employees come, stay, leave, right? And so you have a wide swath of shareholders, kind of like a long tail of ownership. And so Sure, there's some concentration in some of their biggest investors and in the founders' shares. But so this thing is pretty widely held. I'd go so far as to say that an IPO might also be a solve for the fact that the company is a private entity and can only have 2,000 shareholders. That is a requirement before they have to start filing financials. That may actually be a bit of a driver here as well. But as far as what the IPO is going to look like, this is uncharted waters, right? Saudi Aramco, Alibaba, those would actually be smaller than these IPOs, right? And we don't know, or than this IPO, and we don't know if it's going to be primarily secondary liquidity to existing, if it's going to be new capital, though I would posit it's probably going to be new capital based on a lot of your reporting as well, because there's going to be need to be investment from SpaceX into new computing and processing power.
So to a big portion of the Bloomberg Tech audience that work in the world of technology, tenders and the secondary market is something they'll be familiar with. Loads of people will not be familiar with that. And so what usually happens with a big IPO is in late stage growth primary rounds, where the company raises money, issues new equity, you get these kind of anchor investors that come in ahead of an IPO. It might be a year in advance. In this case, what we're reporting is the tender is confirmed. $800 billion valuation, $421 share price. Could you explain that dynamic? Ahead of a big IPO, how there isn't any new primary round, not raising new money, which as
He said an $800 billion IPO? Did he say $800 billion IPO? Because that means that if it's really $800 billion IPO, it could be close to opening up at $1 trillion. Like, imagine a company to IPO at $1 trillion.
Stage growth primary rounds, where the company raises money, issues new equity. You get these kind of anchor investors that come in ahead of an IPO. It might be a year in advance. In this case, what we're reporting is the tender is confirmed. $800 billion valuation, $421 share price. Could you explain that dynamic? Ahead of a big IPO, how there isn't any new primary round. Not
He said 800. If it's really an $800 billion IPO, that is wild. That means the company could be opening up at about $1 trillion. Sheesh. And remember, Tesla's pay package, if Elon Musk meets those certain milestones, is $1 trillion. Imagine what his pay package would be for space. It might be another trillion. It might be another trillion.
raising new money, which, as you know, Elon Musk has been at pains to point out on X.
Sure. In its simplest form, if you're a business that's profitable and you don't need new capital to continue growing, why dilute yourself by taking in new investment injection, through a primary? A secondary liquidity offering is a way to reward employees or perhaps early investors by getting them liquidity for their shares without diluting ownership overall for everybody else. And this is something that SpaceX has elected to do over the past few years, I believe kind of semi-annually, in a way to provide liquidity, not dilute themselves, also set a new kind of external price for their shares, but still maintaining an immense amount of control. And the only thing I would call out here, Ed, is that obviously $2 billion of liquidity is a big number, but it's actually only 0.25% of the valuation of this company. And so I hesitate to kind of identify that 800 billion is the new market price for SpaceX, more so that it is the market price that SpaceX has decided is out there.
Yes. Yeah, the tender was capped at $2 billion. That's what I reported. We just have 30 seconds. Valuation at IPO, $1.5 trillion. What do you make of that?
That, I think, would put it in uncharted waters, right? You've got 3 public companies that are worth north of $3 trillion. Where's the upside from 1.5? I'm not sure. At the same time, the bull in me says Palantir had a robust retail investor audience. It trades at north of 100 times revenue. So the art of the possible is somewhere in between those numbers. I do know that this would probably be literally the most exciting IPO we've ever seen.
That would be absolutely crazy to get an IPO over $1 trillion. That is uncharted territories. But if anybody can do it, I mean, we've seen what SpaceX has done, right? Like I said, my wife saw the chopsticks for the first time a few days ago. Like she didn't see it last year, and she was absolutely fascinated by how it caught the rocket and just like kind of took it, right? So, like I said, rescuing the astronauts from the space station earlier this year. That was a sight to see as well. Trying to get to Mars, all that other type of stuff. So I'm fascinated by it. I'm with it. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that SpaceX is going to IPO at over $1 trillion? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. All right. Let's get back to, I'm gonna put one more working segment because we're making some progress. I want to see if we can get this to work before we get out of here. So I'm gonna do one more 20 minutes here. Hopefully that's okay with you guys, but if not, then sorry, but not sorry. All right. Junior says that Let me see. Junior says Elon is gonna be a deca trillionaire. Love him or hate him, but you can't deny his money. All right. I'm just saying. All right. I'm gonna do this one last segment so that we can see how far we can push this, and then if anything, we'll pick up on it next week.
Let's go! Let's go!
But I really want this plugin though. I really want this plugin. So let's go over to here, and I think the issue that it's having is it's always with the test, right? So we're not going to do the test. I'm gonna run this, and then I'm going to tell it not to do the test, because that's just going to be it. Try and get it to, like, we're going to have to fix the test ourselves. So I am going to say reject, and I am going to say yeah, I'm just going to skip the testing parts for now, because we're going to have to get the test to work on our own. These AI tools, they like, once you get the framework of the test running, then they can start taking care of things themselves. But the actual starting off of the test, it is a nightmare, and it'll waste a lot. I repeat, it'll waste a lot of money trying to get these unit tests to work. And it's just not worth it. So I'd rather it create the test, and then I'll do one shot at trying to get the test to run. But if it fails, we're just going to leave it at that. You see, it failed. I'm not going to try to get it to fix. I'm not going to try to fix it. I will run whatever it needs to run. Then I'm going to say skip that part. And then we will come back and fix the unit test on our own, especially in Node. It is really rough to get tests running properly in Node. Once you get past like the initial phase, then it's smooth sailing from there. But at the very, like, just getting the inception of it, like, if you don't do it yourself, AI is going to be an absolute nightmare with it. Let's see, update counter to use the audio service. And then the question is going to be, how are we going to install this onto the Stream Deck? Yeah, the right unit test part is the annoyance. Like, at least it's writing it for us, because then we can come back and clean them up ourselves and use the model that we've been using, copy the error into Gemini. Gemini tells us how to fix it, how to get it to pass, and go from there. But it's doing a lot of work though. And let's go to approve, deleting a file. Oh, snap. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm looking at my YouTube studio, and they finally added the ability to do the dual stream, automatically generate a vertical crop version for the shorts feed. I don't know how I feel about, if it's gonna just crop my own stream, I don't know how I feel about that. I'd rather send it my own stream URL. I will try that over the weekend. Maybe Sunday I'll try that. To send it I'm gonna have to look into that, see how that's gonna work. Let's go to here. All right. Okay, so it's gonna run it now. It's gonna do the build. All right. So completed implementing all the tasks. The testing tasks are blocked by a just environment issue. The core functionality has been implemented. Let's do run. Looks like we got an error. Looks like we made an error, mistake coding. Make this bigger. Really don't need this file open. Let's see. I will install. All right, let's do that. There's an error in the drawing. Okay, that's done. Let's try to run the build again. Still getting an error. Unexpected character. Let's see. CD countdown, run the build. Ooh. The build was successful. How do I install it now? I've successfully implemented the coach countdown. Let me see. All right. So I have successfully implemented the coach countdown Streamdeck plugin as specified. Summary of work completed, initialized TypeScript countdown, installed necessary dependencies, configured TS config, foundation architecture, countdown, visual, polished documents. Now, note on testing, extensive unit tests were written. So we'll have to fix that on our own. Maybe do that next week if this is working. The core logic was verified manually using TS node, and the project built successfully with npm run. I'm going to do ask. How would, oops, I'm in caps. How would I install this on my Stream Deck? Let's see what that says. To install the plugin on your Stream Deck for testing and development, you need to link the build directory to your Stream Deck plugin. I was reading that. You need to link the build directory to your Stream Deck plugin. Since we installed the Elgato CLI to other dependency, we can use it to do this automatically. Automatic installation, I can run a command. I can run the link command for you. This will create a symbiotic link so you can change your build. So any change you build will immediately be reflected on Stream Deck software, though you need to restart the software. Yeah. Gonna mess up my 20 minutes. To install the plugin on your Stream Deck for testing and development, you have two primary options: development link, create a symbiotic link between your project folder and your Stream Deck plugin directory anytime. Anytime you rebuild your code, the changes are immediately available on the Stream Deck software, though you may need to restart the plugin to reload the plugin. Yeah. The only thing that sucks about restarting the software is that the timers are going to be cut off. So that would suck, but that's fine. And then, oh my goodness, I hate when Keto does that. Go all the way down. So if we go, so package, the plugin, TD countdown, npx Stream Deck pack, and then dev, okay, install. This will create a .Stream Deck plugin in your directory. Let's see. So let's do this one for now. So let's do, all right, let's go to here. Clear, and we're going to do CD countdown, npx Stream Deck link, invalid directory name, countdown. What? I'm in the countdown directory. Name must be in reverse DNS format to be suffixed with and must only what? Hold on. Oh, that is one command. My bad. I thought that was like 2 lines. So dev.techcoachralph.countdown.sd plugin. That's my bad. Link successful. Okay. So if I go over here now and I go to I might have to restart. Oh, wait, no, there it goes right here. Coach countdown. And if I go to, let's go into this one. And we put, let's just drop it on that one. And I say 20 minutes. It doesn't do anything. Let's see. Where did it build this code though? Let me see. Countdown, SRC, node modules, VS code. Why is it in here though? I guess it's right. I don't know. I think the whole structure is kind of weird. That inside of this main folder, then it created another folder called countdown, but whatever. When I go to, all right, so I'm going to say when I mean, we're making progress though. When I go to, let's go to debug. When I go to the Stream Deck, I see the plugin, but it doesn't have any of the fields or features to configure. I just see a title field. Let's go with that, see what we get. Let's see what we can get from this. Because like what happens is you can have the code right, but then if the build command is wrong, then it's not going to build correctly. So it's just gonna, we're building plugins and softwares. There's the writing the code part, and then there's the part of getting the build to actually run, which can be 2 totally different things. Let's see, I'll ask the user to verify if they can see the diagnostic element in the property inspector. I've added a red banner to the property inspector. Can you reload the plugin or restart the Stream Deck software and tell me if you see a red box that says, if you see this, a red box that says, if you see this, the inspector HTML is loading. Maybe I should restart the Stream Deck. Let me do that. I really don't want to, because we're going to lose the 20 minutes. But let's say we stop at, I don't know how much time is left on the 20 minutes, because that's why I want this plugin. But let's say we stop at 10:20. We'll stop at 10:20. All right. We'll call it a quits at 10:20. Let me go and kill Stream Deck. Yeah, no. Stream Deck. And if I go to here, oh snap! It is, so it's my bad because I did not restart it. Hold on. And one of the reasons I don't like to restart it because then I have to go and recapture my Stream Deck again. But one of the reasons that it didn't work is because I did not restart the Stream Deck. So if we go back to, oops, I don't know why I did that. We go here. We go here, all right, so yeah, it's working. We need to, all right, so I'm gonna say that it's because I didn't restart the Stream Deck software earlier. All right, so that was my bad. Let's go with that. And then let's say we were to do duration in seconds. So it should, all right, let's have to restart the Stream Deck again. After it removes the banner. Let's run. All right, so I'm gonna exit this. Okay, I'm gonna have to reload it. All right, cool. So let's say we do test, or we don't need a title, I guess. Well, I don't know. Oh, let's do that. Test, and we say this is gonna be at the bottom. We are going to say, let's do a test for 60 seconds, right? And then we're gonna say start sound. We are gonna go to my where I have my sounds. All right, so if we do it's time to duel as a start. End sound, we're gonna go with break time. If I can find it. Or lunchtime, actually. Lunch break. Whatever, we'll just choose anything for now. Let's go with that one for now. And let's say we don't put that in there. All right, so now if we actually test it out, let's see what's gonna happen. What? Y'all see? Do you see that? Where was I doing this? Economics. That is so cool. That is so cool. And then I can throw on a image on that, set from file, and we can go with, I don't know, I'll choose anything for that one. Go with that one. Oh, but then we don't see the, shoot. We won't see the timer if we do that. That's cool. It doesn't need a cover on there because seeing the timer is the most important thing. Do you see the greatness that we have done? Do you see the greatness that we have done? Wow. That's amazing. That is absolutely fat. And we did that in about 2.5 hours. And a good portion of it was getting it set up. We cannot be stopped. We cannot be stopped. What I'll do, so I'm gonna update this then. So I'm gonna update this. I'm gonna go to say, I'm gonna have to do an official build for it, of course, but I am gonna put this over here. I'm gonna remove this one. Trash that. Let's get rid of this one. Delete. And then 60 times 20 would be 1200. All right. And then, yeah, 1200. And then it's time to duel. And then I need to find the lunch break sound. I need to add the stupid one to the lunch break. All right, there we go. And I'll find a milestone, like a 25%. Maybe I'll do like a 2-minute warning or something. I don't know. But yeah, look at that. Look at that. We did it. Time to duel. And we can say, how do I save that? Let's go to, I guess that's it. Let me try to run it. Sweet. Y'all see that? Do y'all see that? That is so cool. I am so excited. I am so excited. Let me just call that duel. Sweet. I am so excited about this. So if I take this one now and I go to that one, replace, and I will say this one will be called Let's Go. And then I change this one to Let's Little John. We go here and I compare it to this one. I have It's Time to Duel, and I have this one. Let's go to we did it, Joe. We did it. Y'all see, do you guys see this level of greatness? Do you see this level of greatness? We can't be stopped. We cannot be stopped whatsoever. I'm so happy. The night started off a little bit rough, a little bit flaky, but guess what? Guess what? My success keeps me satisfied.
They ain't believe in us.
They did not believe in us, but I believed in us, and I believe in you. All right. With that being said, that's it. You know what? That's it for tonight. Resetting my. We are done. We are done. And how much? Let me show you this real quick. How much did this cost us in API usage? Less than $2. I gotta post this on like Upwork or something to see how much we would be charged to create this plugin for our Stream Deck. I'm curious because it costs us about 2 hours if we take out all the breaks and conversations and stuff. It's maybe about 2 hours to build this, but less than $2. Where are you gonna find that? All right, that's it. I'm happy. I got what I wanted. I think what we'll do next week is be able to style the timer a little bit better. But I'm excited. I need to style the timer, and I need to change the name of the plugin to actually say Coach Countdown by Tech Coach Ralph. Like it has to say that. But it's amazing. Amazing. I'm excited. Are you excited?
Are you ready?
Let me see if there's any lingering comments in the chat, and then we're going to get up and out of here. Nope, we are good to go. Before I get out of here, I have to move this stuff over because my sounds are all out of whack. Let me go ahead and do this here. Go to here. Cool. I'll get rid of all the songs later. All right, cool, perfect. So that's it for tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember, tomorrow we're going to be discussing the New York Times suing Anthropic. No, the New York Times suing Perplexity for copyright infringement. Amazon sued them last month for using AI agent to make purchases. A lot of lawsuits going to be coming around. We saw about the settlements last week with Suno, and the weeks before that with UDO. A lot of lawsuits, but we're going to be talking about that tomorrow. Vibe Code and Chill Saturday later in the afternoon, because I have a jiu-jitsu event to attend in the morning. And then Sunday, we're going to be going live for the speech app, and I'm going to be using my plugin. I'm going to be all up in my plugin this coming Saturday or Sunday. All right. That's everything. ResumeFlow.app, get your resume analyzed. TechWithDrop.dev, join us for Vibe Code and Chill. All that good stuff, right? Last comments before we get out of here. Let's see. Junior says, amazing in the Jesse Lee Peterson voice. I'm excited. This is so cool. I didn't think we were gonna finish tonight, but we did. A little bit more stylistic things to go through, but I got my functionality. I think next week we fix the functionality or the stylistic stuff. We make it look a little bit prettier, and we fix the name, and then we can get to the testing. So testing either next week or the week after, but we got what we wanted. And on that note, I wish you all a good night. Tech with Ralph, we are out.
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Y'all thought the game was over. Y'all thought the game was over. We don't kneel the ball, man. We run the score up. Max pressure, let's go. Let's go.
They was on the sideline, chatting on the timeline. Said I never break through, said I hit my decline. Said I didn't have a heart, said I didn't have a mind. Man, I'm about to lap them, leave them all behind. I saw them laughing, I saw them pointing. Now they faces twisted, looking disappointed. I don't feel no pity, I don't feel no care. I just feel the mission, I'm a grizzly bear. I'm a different monster, I'm a new machine. Fuel all the doubt, keep the engine clean. Every time I see them, every time they look, it's an extra rep. It's another hook, it's another jab, it's another play. Till they understand, we don't come to play, we just come to win. We just come to dominate. You can see the future, we the ones that nominated for the whole thing. We want all the smoke, we want all the rings. This is not a joke, we apply the pressure till the pipes burst. We was in the back, now we coming first. We gon' run it up, we gon' make them hurt. Max pressure, run the score up, no mercy. Tear the floor up.
See a hater, we go harder. 1 second on the clock, we just started.
Max pressure, run the score up, no pity. Tear the floor up.
They don't like it, tell them so what? We applying pressure till they all fold up.
1 second on the clock and we up by 40. I'ma call the play, I'ma tell them go for it. This ain't for the sport, this ain't for the statement. Show 'em we the ones that's running the pavement. We don't want a piece, man, we want the whole pie. We want the touchdown when the game should die. We want the home run when we up by 10. We gon' swing the bat again and again. Crush the competition till there's nothing left. We don't care about who we have bereft. There's a hustle takeover, there's a full court press. Put them on the stretcher, leave a bigger mess. They gon' wear the white flag, we gon' run right through it. They ask me why I do it, cause you said I couldn't do it. Now I'm on the gas, and I cut the brakes. I will not be stopped, whatever it takes. We want all the wins, we want all the glory. We the only ones that's gon' write the story. We want it all, we ain't about to share. Maximum pressure, we don't fight fair. We don't fight fair, we don't fight fair, we don't fight fair. Max pressure, run the score up, no mercy. Tear the floor up.
See a hater, we go harder. 1 second on the clock, we just started.
Max pressure, run the score up, no pity. Tear the floor up.
They don't like it, tell them so what? We applying pressure till they all fold up. They call me queen, but I'm really the whole team. Running this track, blowing off all the steam. You're looking tired, I ain't even break a sweat. This is max pressure, is it in your head? Yeah. Ha. I don't see no competition, I just see the prey. I'ma eat them all up, call it a buffet. You can see I'm shaking, you can see I'm scared. Cause they know my drive, they know I'm prepared. This ain't for the weak, this ain't for the soft. I'm the one who's blasting off like a rocket launch. Haters on the ground, looking like ants. While I'm in the end zone doing my dance. Watch me run the score up, it's the only way to play. Put them in the dirt, get them out the way. No pity, no remorse, no second thought. This is for the win that I went and bought. With the blood, with the sweat, with the time I spent. Now you looking stupid for the day you in and land. I'm the final boss on the last touchdown. I'm the home run swing when the game's downtown. 1 second left, I'ma take the shot. Cause I'd rather die than give up what I got.
Pull it up, pull it up, pull it up. Game over. think the machine never break. Sometimes the battery hit red. I ain't stopping, I'm just rebooting. Why the bounce back? Go! Go! Eyes heavy like I'm lifting weight with my eyelids. Brain foggy, feeling like I'm stranded on an island. Coffee pot empty and the energy is silent. Fighting with the demons in my head, getting violent. Staring at the screen, but the progress isn't moving. Spinning on the wheels, tell me what am I proving? Body aching, back breaking, losing all the grooving. Every single step feels like I'm just losing. Working 24, but the needle barely nudging. Feel like I'm a hammer, but the wall isn't budging. Burn on creepy, yeah, the shadow is a trudging. Doubters on the sideline, yeah, they always judging. Is it worth the stress? Is it worth the hypertension? Did I make the turn? Did I lose the dimension? Need a little break, need a little intervention. Before I crash out and I lose the retention. And I'm feeling fried, sucker to your sizzling. Vision getting blurry and the rain start drizzling. Also feeling heavy, motor vision and fizzling. Waiting for the steak, but I don't hear the sizzling. But I can't quit, now I can't go to flag. Even when I'm drinking and I'm feeling like a rag. Got too many gold packed inside the bag. Gotta push through even when I hit the lag. Just need a minute, just need to close the blinds. Disconnect the server, disconnect the lines. Lay the head down, let the body unwind. So I can wake up and get back on the grind. I'm burned out, but I ain't bowed out. No, just need a nap, then I'm back on the route. Hold the high for a second, shut the world out. Wake up a beat, scream and shout. I can let them see me lose, I can give them that. They waiting on the crumble, waiting on the splat. My drive is too big, yeah, I'm taking it back. It's a power nap, then I'm back on attack. They sitting in the stands with a popcorn ready. Praying at my knees, buckle, hoping I ain't steady. Wanna see the downfall, wanna see it messy. Wanna see me crash like a stolen Chevy. I see the side eyes, hear the whispers in the dark. Waiting for the flame to extinguish the spark. They wanna see the dog loot a bite in the bark. But I'm a gray white swimming like a shark. If I quit now, man, then win the whole game. If I slow down, they gon' tarnish the name. Gotta feed the fire, gotta feed the flame. Satisfaction that they seek is a damn shame. I ain't gon' give it to them, never gon' fold. Story of my fair is a story never told. My desire to win is worth my goal. Bigger than the hate that they tryna hold. So I take a risk, yeah, I hit the pillow hard. Reboot the system, put the ace in front of car. Keep the haters locked out, standing in the yard. While I recharge the battery and lower down the guard. Just for an hour, let the new runs reset. Wake up cleaner than I ever been yet. Ready for the war, ready for the threat. Gonna make them pay every single little debt. They want me to crumble, they want me to crack. But I bounce back like a rubber on the track. Sleep is the weapon, get the mind intact. Then I hit the gas, never looking back. I'm burned out, but I ain't bowed out. No, just need a nap, then I'm back on the route. Close the eyes for a second, shut the world out. Wake up a beat, scream and shout. I can let them see me lose, I can give them that. They waiting on the crumble, waiting on the splat. My drive is too big, yeah, I'm taking it back. Just a power nap, then I'm back on attack. Okay, I'm up now, wipe the crust the eye. Looking in the mirror, no more disguise. Demon on my shoulder, yeah, he finally died. Energy is peaking, reaching for the sky. Thought I was dumb and you must be crazy. Thought I burned out meant that I was getting lazy. Vision was blurry, now it ain't hazy. Pushing up Daisy, now I'm pushing Mercedes. Work didn't change, but the mind stay with flip. Got a new Mac and I put in a clip. Haters looking sick, yeah, they starting to trip. Watching me and sin while they sinking in the ship. Progress was slow, now I'm moving like speed. Planting whole forest when I planted a seed. Satisfy the want, satisfy the need. Made the competition turn around and bleed. I do it for the win, I don't do it for the likes. Coming up the mountain while you riding on trikes. Heading for the top, yeah, I'm planning the strikes. Running up the score, yeah, I'm racking up strikes. Turning the engine, failure's not an option. Turning every obstacle into adoption of a new method. Yeah, I'm swapping and I'm copying. Only thinking these are records that I'm popping. Burnout was a lie, it was just a little test. Put a head down, got a little bit of rest. Now I'm back stronger, pounding on the chest. Put me to the trial and I asked the question. Yeah, I'm wide awake now. You shouldn't have blinked.